Everything you're about to hear was invented over 1,000 years ago. Most of it, we still haven't matched. 7 ancient inventions that the modern world is only now catching up to. Number 7. The Baghdad Battery. In 1938, a German archaeologist working near Baghdad discovered a set of clay jars dating to around 250 BC. Each jar contained a copper cylinder and an iron rod, sealed with asphalt. When researchers filled replicas with vinegar or grape juice, they produced a small electric current, about 1.5 volts. Nobody knows what they were used for. The leading theory is electroplating, coating objects with a thin layer of gold or silver using electrical current. If true, it means people in ancient Mesopotamia discovered electricity over 2,000 years before Volta built the first modern battery in 1800. Skeptics argue the jars may have been used for storing scrolls. But no one has explained why they were built with the exact components needed to generate an electrical charge. Number 6. Roman self-healing concrete. The Pantheon in Rome was built nearly 2,000 years ago. Its concrete dome is the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. It has no cracks. Meanwhile, modern concrete structures start deteriorating within 50 years. Scientists couldn't figure out why until 2023, when researchers at MIT discovered the secret. Roman concrete contains chunks of quicklime that were previously thought to be a mixing error. They weren't. When tiny cracks form and water seeps in, it reacts with the lime to form calcium carbonate crystite, which literally fills and seals the crack. The concrete heals itself. Roman harbors that have been submerged in salt water for 2 millennia are still structurally sound. The ocean didn't weaken the concrete. It made it stronger. Seawater reacted with volcanic ash in the mix to grow interlocking mineral crystals that reinforce the structure over time. We're currently trying to reverse engineer their recipe. Number 5. The Antikythera mechanism. In 1901, divers exploring a Roman shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera recovered a corroded lump of bronze. It sat in a museum for decades before anyone understood what it was. It was a mechanical computer. Built around 100 BC, the Antikythera mechanism used over 30 interlocking bronze gears to predict solar eclipses, track the motion of the moon and planets, and calculate the dates of the ancient Olympic Games. The precision of the gearing would not be matched in Europe for another 1,400 years. It is the most sophisticated piece of technology discovered from the ancient world. Nothing else like it has ever been found. Whoever built it had knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and mechanical engineering that we didn't think existed at that time. One device. Found in one shipwreck. The only one of its kind. Number 4. Ancient Egyptian prosthetics. Near Luxor, Egypt, archaeologists found a 3,000-year-old prosthetic toe attached to the foot of a female mummy. It was carved from wood and leather, with a hinge that allowed natural movement. Researchers at the University of Manchester built a replica and tested it with volunteers who were missing their big toes. It worked. The design helped them walk naturally in traditional Egyptian sandals. This wasn't cosmetic. It was functional biomedical engineering. The Egyptians also had prosthetic eyes, painted and fitted into the eye socket with linen. And dental bridges, false teeth attached to neighboring teeth with gold wire. 3,000 years before modern prosthetics, before anesthesia, before germ theory, the Egyptians were building replacement body parts that actually worked. Number 3. Hero of Alexandria's machines. In the 1st century AD, a Greek engineer named Hero built things that shouldn't have existed for another 1,700 years. He built the first known vending machine, drop a coin into a slot and a measured amount of holy water dispensed through a valve activated by the coin's weight. He built the eolipile, a sphere mounted on a boiler that spun when heated, powered by steam jets. It was a working steam engine, 17 centuries before James Watt. He built automatic doors for a temple that opened when a fire was lit on the altar, using heat to expand air that displaced water and pulled the doors open through a system of counterweights. He built a wind-powered organ, a self-filling wine cup, and a programmable cart that followed a predetermined path using a system of strings and falling weights, essentially a primitive robot. 1 man. 1st century AD. Vending machines, steam power, automatic doors, and programmable robotics. Number 2. Damascus steel. Between the 3rd and 17th centuries, swordsmiths in the Middle East produced a type of steel with extraordinary properties. Damascus steel blades could cut through European swords and still slice a falling silk scarf in half. When examined under electron microscopes in the 21st century, researchers found carbon nanotubes in the steel, structures so small they weren't officially discovered by modern science until 1991. The Smiths didn't know about nanotubes. But their forging process, using a specific type of Indian ore, heated to precise temperatures and cooled in specific ways, accidentally created them. The original technique was lost around 1750 when the mines producing the specific ore were depleted. Despite over 200 years of trying, no one has been able to fully replicate the original process. Number 1. The Lycurgus Cup. It sits in the British Museum. A 1600-year-old Roman glass cup that changes color depending on how light hits it. When lit from the front, it appears green. When lit from behind, it turns deep red. For decades, nobody could explain how. In 1990, researchers examined fragments under an electron microscope and discovered that the glass contains nanoparticles of gold and silver, each about 70 nanometers across, smaller than a wavelength of light. The particles are so precisely distributed that they interact with photons differently depending on the angle of light. This is nanotechnology, engineered at a scale we didn't achieve again until the 20th century. The Romans may not have understood why it worked. But they built it. 1600 years ago. 7 inventions. All real. All ancient. All ahead of their time by centuries or millennia. If you made it this far, subscribe. We dig up the history they forgot to teach you.